The LoadCall Invoice module makes it simple to create invoices for your customers. Because rates are loaded up in the accounting management module and the ticket invoices are calculated as loads are completed, the invoice module here is mostly focused on aggregating that into different payable periods, as well as flagging inconsistencies on tickets that may need to be dealt with before you generate all those downloads and reports for your customers. So here on the main invoices page, you can see that we have this first tab, which will show any invoices created in the last 28 days. We can also change this to see invoices for previous months in here. And on the table right here, you can see that we have each of our different customers, and you can see the last time that a ticket was run for them. So I've got some older data in here that we're going to work with. And if you go over, and you can also notice right here that you don't have any tickets for these two, the test or the import ones, so you probably don't need to make an invoice for them. But this next tab right here, purchasers, will show kind of the same information as the first tab, although it lets you come in here and you can also manage invoice settings, which we'll get into in a sec. And then the reports tab lets you download the aggregate invoice report, which just shows a bunch of data with regards to current invoices that are in there. So if I come into here on the first tab again, if we click on this view invoices, it's going to take us to this page where we have only invoices for this customer. So you can see all of their invoices rather than just those for the last month or so. And if you click on the plus button, you can create an invoice. You can also create an invoice from this page by clicking on the new invoice button, which we'll do later in the video. The next tab here, purchasers, you can see that underneath here we have view invoices, which takes us back to this same page. But we also have the ability to manage invoice settings, which what this lets us do is kind of come up with our default preset settings for whenever we're creating an invoice. So we can come up with an abbreviation. So for maybe Atlas, we're going to say that all of our invoices are going to start with ATL, that's how they want it. Invoice cutoff times, we can say they prefer to have their loads cut off at midnight. Central time, the billing period, we can say that is going to be done twice a month, 1st, the 15th, and 16th of the 1st. And we're not going to break down the invoice, but if they have a bunch of subregions that they want broken down, you can do that in here. And we're going to base this off of our unload date. And invoicing variables, what this does is allows you to put an extra variable on an invoice. This is not very common, so we're not going to go over right now. But if you have any questions about it, you can definitely talk to support about when you may need to include an invoice variable, which kind of just lets you store an extra piece of information on there. We're going to go ahead and click on this Save, Update Invoice Settings. And this is for Atlas downstream. And then if we click on the Create Invoice, it's going to pull some of that information in here. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see right here, so that by default it's naming it 21.1.2, and then ATL was the prefix we gave it. And you can see that it's suggesting we go from the 16th at midnight Central Time to the 1st midnight Central Time based off of unload date. So if I were to open this up and click Create for one that I don't have those presets, you have to fill a lot of that information in. So it's a good idea to set up those presets just so you can quickly and easily create invoices and don't have any gaps where you accidentally leave a couple tickets out or have any overlaps. So the last thing we're going to talk about in this segment is the this reports tab. So like I said, you can download this, but also at the bottom there's a button for report settings. And what this lets you do is put in some information that, depending on your templates, could get pulled in. So if you have any remit information account numbers that you want to include in your report, you can do so, or any notice of assignment. So some of these get pulled onto different report templates depending on your organization settings. But yeah, so we've gone ahead and done that. And in the next segment, we're going to go ahead and create an invoice.